1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Are you born bad, or do you just kind of fall into that category, perhaps even before the diapers are off? I do not know. I'm anything but. Although at one point in my life, I did host the Bad Show. I may even add it was quite successful back here on the Ball, back in the mid to late 90s. But a bad man is the world's most dangerous man. And he is Ken Shamrock, and he's coming up in less than 20 minutes. Looking forward to really breaking some bread with Ken. Guy followed his career for decades. And in here for a big event coming up Friday night, October 27th at the UNF Arena. Bare knuckle fighting. And that's just insane. And don't talk to me about, bare knuckle fighting in the schoolyard or bare knuckle fighting in a bar room. That's different. These are gladiators. These are trained athletes. These are professionals. So we'll tell you all about it. It's going to be a big event. And again, the fight game has really made itself known here in North Florida. Jacksonville, as we all know, this was the #1 event that said see ya to COVID when UFC rolled through here 3 years ago. They've made a return trip yearly. We had Jorge Masvidal in town with his bare knuckle fighting not too long ago, a little bit less than 2 months ago. And then again, the aforementioned Ken Shamrock. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes, so we'll get to Kenny with that. Outside of our conversation, which I am looking forward to, Jaguar fans, you know that on Tuesday night we make it all about you. We grab your phone calls on the Jaguars. I've noticed that after the 3 wins, not a lot coming in. After the losses, much more. And I guess that's the way of the world anyway in sports talk radio. But whatever it is that's on your mind, Jaguar related, again, right after we have our conversation with Ken Shamrock, we will do that with you. Give you an opportunity to call in tonight at 641-1010 as well. Certainly get us on the text line. Same number, 641-1010, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, huge day all around. Jags are off. Next up is Indy. The importance of this one is, it goes without saying. For so many reasons, the Jags need to win this game. Now, it's not a quote-unquote must-win game, but to win at home is very important for this franchise. I mean, tonight's the opening night in the National Hockey League, and those hockey players, they're wired a little bit differently. I've always felt that way, but it's been really unusual over the years. If you talk with them in big games, playoff-type games, they would just as soon be playing at someone else's barn than playing on their home ice. You're never going to hear about that in the Major League Baseball playoffs, although road teams have certainly had success in the playoffs, including a little bit earlier today, Houston just pounded Minnesota by a score of 9-1. So what is that, unofficially 7-2, I want to say, so far in the divisional round. That may be wrong by a game. But road teams really having their way against home teams. And we know that in the hardwood, the importance in the NBA, and you would think that would be the same case in the National Football League. And the Jaguars have won both games in London. Okay, and don't waste my time telling me that one of those games was a home game. It's 4,300 miles away. They won both games in London. They open up the year by getting a 10-point victory in Indianapolis. The game now here on Sunday is very important because they will not play a game back in the bank for nearly 30 days. And guess who that opponent is? Arguably the best team right now in the NFL. San Francisco. You want to, and you know what? I guess no matter how you get them, it really in the long run it doesn't matter all that much. But I'm just talking about the importance of a win in a game that is played hard by this football team for 60 minutes. Right? They got 11 points in the very first quarter against Buffalo a couple of days ago. After the game with Indianapolis on Sunday, you get the short week. You go out to New Orleans, who just destroyed the New England Patriots. Just crushed them. Pittsburgh, the week after that, you'll get advantage of the extra, 72 hours to get ready for that game. But who knows what to make out of the Steelers after what they did this past week. Then you get it by. You got to wait all the way till November 12th until San Francisco comes into town. So I think for those reasons and those reasons only, it's going to be very important for the Jaguars. And they are favorites in this game. We know it's going to be the return of Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson obviously is out, but Gardner Minshew returning. Jonathan Taylor did not play much last week, but he has since signed that contract extension, 3 years, $26.5 million guaranteed as far as his new deal. And it just feels like the Jaguars in the second half, it was, I don't want to say the best performance of the year in their victory against the Buffalo Bills, but it felt like, if there was any sort of shadow of doubt, it was eliminated. I mean, this defense doesn't get enough credit because I think you keep looking for the sacks and the splash plays. But if you look overall, this defense held Buffalo to 20 points. Buffalo came into the game averaging 34.8. You held them to 20. Every time you look up the Kansas City Chiefs, what they're able to do offensively, frankly, is scary, right? One of the best offensive teams that we have seen in the NFL ever since Patrick Mahomes has got there, right? They are consistently, year in, year out, one of the top offensive teams. Let me see where they are right now overall as far as scoring and points per game. Kansas City, all right, 25.6. Well, the reason why they're down a little bit is because of what? It's because Jacksonville held them to 17 points. So you have maybe the two best offenses in the NFL. Yeah, I know Miami put up the 70, and yeah, San Francisco still isn't getting the love that they deserve. When you look at Brock Purdy, who all he does is win, and obviously their defense creates takeaways. Their defense helps them with really good field positioning for that offense. But with a healthy McCaffrey and Samuel, they have so many weapons. Right now, San Francisco just looks like a well-oiled machine. To take that into consideration, 17 to Kansas City, 20 to Buffalo. The Atlanta Falcons, the victory you had over them, absolutely holding them in check. And, you can even go to the opener against Indianapolis. We all remember the return for a touchdown by DeForest Buckner. That was 7 points going the other way. That favored the Indianapolis Colts. So you get rid of that, you're talking about the Jaguars allowing 14 in Indy. Okay? All right. Houston was a mess. I don't even know. I'm not going to bring up Houston. That was an absolute just a travesty. But it's something that is so promising, particularly when you look at this rush defense that Jacksonville right now has been able to do. Their rush, 3.7 yards a carry. That leads the NFL, less than 82 yards a game. That is right up there as league leaders in the National Football League. And they're only going to get better once Devon Hamilton actually does get back out there for the Jags. Is that as early as this week? My guess is no. We'll hear from Doug Peterson tomorrow. We'll hear from Trevor Lawrence tomorrow. I'll also be in the Jaguars locker room tomorrow to get the very latest from this football team after being gone for 10 days to get ready for Indianapolis. Dwan Smoot apparently said something on social media that a big announcement is coming. Could this be the week for Dwan Smoot? They took him off the pup a week ago, so you have 21 days to make a decision. I thought it may have been before the game next Thursday against New Orleans, but maybe it happens as early as tomorrow or later on in the week. I do not know. And also Devin Lloyd is something that is going to be informative once that does come to us, all right? Is Chad Muma has been okay. Pro Football Focus certainly hasn't done anything positive for Chad Muma, but there's been some misplays, a couple of them with the eye test. I do think he has been adequate. Certainly I wouldn't have him the grade that Pro Football Focus has given him, but, take that for what it may be. But, the point I'm trying to get at here, you could be getting back three huge parts of this defense, and one that can help out with the pass rush, obviously, in DeJuan Smoot. And Devin Lloyd is another guy that maybe they start to blitz a little bit more. That was kind of the scenario that we were a part of as we watched training camp and we watched those three preseason games. Devon Hamilton, in my opinion, had the best overall training camp of anyone on the defensive line. All right, Me O'Brien said it's only an MCL sprain for Walker Little. He'll be out a few weeks, and it's the opposite of the major knee surgery he had back as a member of the Stanford Cardinal. That was a torn ACL. It is the opposite knee. Zay Jones, with his knee, the MRI came back negative, so he's day-to-day. So Jacksonville, right now, like every other team in the NFL, dealing with injuries, and so far it's been pretty good. They have been able to adapt. I don't think there's any question about that. Ken Shamrock coming up in just 5 minutes. Do want to tell you that opening segment tonight and every night brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Pay more, better, right? More expensive, better, right? Yeah, just about with everything in life. But that's not necessarily the case when it comes to your eyes. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and they're going to read you your rights about the newest technology and how this works and that works, and we've upgraded, and you got to do this and you got to do that. There's no set scenario when it comes to your eyes. Everyone is different. Everyone's vision reacts differently depending on what it is that you may have or what you're dealing with. And there's so many different concerns. That's why I recommend Shmunez Vision. For instance, if you're getting older, cataract scenarios, couldn't need perhaps cataract surgery. That may not be the case. It may be a simple remedy that they can provide where that is not necessary. Now, you're talking about more than 30 years of experience when surgery is forced to happen, right? It happened to me 8.5 years ago. I had my surgery right there with Dr. Neo Shmunez. So whether it's cataract surgery, refractive surgery, laser eye surgery, or anything else that involves your eyes, that is what they do, and that is why they are the best for you, your family, your grandparents, your younger ones, growing up, high school, whatever it may be. Contacts, glasses, an eye exam, sure, but so much more than that at Shmunez Vision. That's why they're a family organization out at the beach. Just go to shmunezvision.com. That is shmunezvision.com. All right, Ken Shamrock coming up. JJ, we have YouTube all locked and ready to go.
Yeah, if you want to see it live, go to youtube.com, go to 1010XL's YouTube page, and we're with you live, as always, every night.
The world's most dangerous man is Ken Shamrock, and he's in studio next as he goes into the night.
He doesn't live at the stadium, but you might think he does.
Nobody knows the Jags like Johnny O.
Oh, no. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials. Mimosas as well, $2.50, noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oysters. Right off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road, it is the Blue Crab Crab House.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
There's no better time to be a Jags fan, especially when you're a My Gate Rewards member. Gate is giving you the chance to meet the man, Trevor Lawrence. You and 3 of your friends can meet Trevor Lawrence in person at the stadium. Entering is easy. With the My Gate Rewards Gatorade Club, for every 5 Gatorade products you purchase, you'll be entered for a chance to win. See store for details. Gate, your hometown convenience store.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reich Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
The Jaguars are back and ready for another AFC South showdown. Join the team at Everbank Stadium as they take on the Colts October 15th. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 for this special game.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
Are spooky plumbing problems haunting your home this Halloween? Don't be scared. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your ghost-busting plumbing heroes.
Hi there, I'm Brian, your friendly plumber. Is your toilet making ghostly groans, or is your sink dripping like a vampire's fangs?
Don't let plumbing problems give you the heebie-jeebies. Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 and chase those spooky issues away.
Duck Duck Rooter, because even plumbing nightmares deserve a happy ending. Quacktastic service guaranteed.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics. The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. You've got to go see QC Kinetics. You can call to set up a free consultation at Mandarin or Ponte Vedra locations at 904-274-5522. Again, 274-5522. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, shoulders, back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Look, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Again, give them a call. 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics.
Do you love sports? Do you also love wings? Enjoy the best wings in Jacksonville in Miramar, Mandarin, and Oakleaf at Players Grill. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizza, salads, and of course, wings. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we got a huge event coming up right here in Duval, Friday night, October 27th at the UNF Arena. ValorBK.com is where you get the tickets. It is Valor Bear, bare knuckle boxing. Got to be kidding me. We are joined by one of the greats, the world's most dangerous man. He is the founder, and as well, he will be presenting this big ticket coming up in just a couple of Fridays. Ken Shamrock joins Rick Ballou. Ken, really good to see you. How you been?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Man, it's great to have you with us. And the whole world of promotion, the most obvious question is all of the huge fights that you've been in, whether it's your Hall of Fame fights with the UFC, kickboxing, the WWF, the adrenaline that runs in those huge ticket fights. How do you have the same type of passion now as a promoter?
Yeah, it's hard. I'll tell you, actually in our very first one that we did back in 2019 and being able to watch those guys go in there and fight, man, and sitting outside watching it, it just, your blood gets going again, right? But at the same time, you know, you sit outside and you know what your capabilities are. You understand who you are and where you're at the time. So really just proud of the guys when they're in there and they go in and fight. And I know what they're feeling. I know they're following this dream that they've started since they were 15 years old, and now they're actually in there fighting. And I know what it feels like. So that part of it is just fulfilling to me as I'm sitting out there watching them go at it.
You're phenomenal athletically, these fighters. But how do you separate being an athlete and doing your job? How do you flip the switch when it comes to this incredible hand-to-face combat?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to kind of explain that to someone, but it really is flipping a switch. You go training for, it was me, it's like 12 weeks getting prepared for the fight. Then fight night comes around and you're relaxed and calm and you walk down the aisle, you get in there and the bell rings and it just snaps. It's game on, and you know it's them or you. You're going to win. And so you go out there and you put to use all the things that you did in training. You got your coach and everybody there telling you, hey, do this, do that. But you already know because you've trained for 12 weeks for this fight. So a lot of times, like I said, when you step in there, none of that stuff matters, man, because you're so focused on your opponent and getting that job done.
Is this something that you realize at a young age that I'm born to be a fighter? I would think that, you can take a power forward in the NBA and say he could be a great tight end in the NFL. But to be a fighter, is that something that you can go out and find, or is that something you have in your brain that you know when you're still, under the age of 10, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, flipping that switch when you go in there, there's that switch that flips. And you can see it in training when guys go in and spar, they have that switch. They go in and you can just see, man, they're on, they're game on, and there's no fear. And you can see that. We did a lot of tryouts here in Florida to put guys on the card, and we were able to, witness that and be able to see the guys that we thought would work very well in our bout circle.
Ken Shamrock, our guest, a huge event coming up. Get the tickets at ValorBK.com. It's going to be at the UNF Arena on Friday night, October 27th, true bare-knuckle boxing. Tell us about that, about, kind of going out and searching for some talent here in this state. I gotta think of it as a lot of them probably got in there and said, that's it for me, and left. But did you find any good specimens?
Yeah, actually, we went to probably 8 or 9 different gyms over the last probably 3 months. And we had nobody, and I mean nobody, that walked in there and said, well, this ain't for me. Every single one of them who stepped in there knew what they were getting into. Bare knuckle's been around for a few years, and people truly understand what it is. And these guys are coming from backgrounds of MMA and boxing, so they understand what it is to fight, and they understand what it is to do bare knuckle because they've been seeing it. So we've never had anybody actually go in and back out. Good for Florida, right? No chickens. But we found some great talent, man. And October 27 at the UNF, man, come on down and check out the fights because we got some great ones.
Historically speaking, bare knuckle boxing has been around forever. I mean, you can go back to the 16, 17, 1800s, and you have the whole underground. But me of Irish descent, I remember the whole, the Wranglers, the bare knuckle stuff they do out there.
Backyard brawlers, baby.
They're drinking beers, and then they're out there fighting. Well, this is different because this is basically the UFC. You're in the cage, and you can take your opponent to the ground
You can't take it, not on this one.
Okay.
Straight up, man-to-man, bare-knuckle, true bare-knuckle boxing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I'm glad you told us that because not too long ago with Jorge Masvidal, that's the way that they did. They went to the ground. So, Ken, please, this is straight up fighting only.
Dude, this is groundbreaking stuff. And it was a vision I came up with and a rule sets that I came up with to make it more friendly for fans and friendly for fighters. And some of the things we've done in there, which is really the most boring thing in a stand-up fight or boxing, is the clinch. So we've taken that out. There is absolutely no clinching. So you have to keep your hands closed and you have to punch and use your footwork. The last thing we did there is we took out the ropes and the cages. There is no ropes and no cages, so there's nowhere for you to lay on or back up into.
So how big's the ring?
Yo, it's big enough, man.
All right, so
it's big enough.
So it's old school boxing rules, bare knuckle, no using your feet or your knees or anything like that. It's just nothing but fists.
All we've done is basically, other than taking the clinch out of it, is taking the gloves off, no tape on the hands, straight up bare knuckle boxing. Valor BK.
Man, I love it. How many on the card? Do you know for sure yet?
Yes, we have 14 fights, and they're exciting fights, man. Like I said, I've actually personally been able to actually put this card together, watch these guys try out, and match them up. And I'm telling you, man, if you miss this, you're going to miss a night of action.
It's coming up in just a couple of Fridays. Ken Shamrock, our guest, the world's most dangerous man. You know the name. He's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. I certainly remember his days as a fighter with the WWE. Went over to Japan. He's done it all. Impact Wrestling. Ken is I've known coaches. I've been doing this for more than 3 decades, and every coach, the way they're wired, they think they're the best coach. And if they ever became a head coach, they do things a little bit differently. What about as a promoter? I mean, you learned under Vince McMahon. You learned, Dana White, right. Some of the other big names. What do you take, from them as a promoter, and how are you different?
Yeah, I think that really as me being different, I've come up with this, especially when I got into promoting. I got out of the fighting, and when I became a promoter, I wanted to make sure that I could do something groundbreaking. And one of those things is like the rule sets. Like most of the other bare-knuckle organizations, they allow the clinching, right?
Uh-huh.
But to me, I thought, I want to try to do something different and to be able to try and induce action and not slow action down. So for me, being that promoter, I learned that from guys like Vince and Dana to not just go with the flow, but to make sure that when you put fights on, that you're putting on fights that are the best for the fans to see. And putting the best guys against the best guys. That Dana White does that all the time. He's always matching the best guys against the best guys, and they're not letting them pad their record. And so for me, I took a little bit out of those things, is just basically going out and making sure you're putting on great fights. And I personally, with these tryouts, have gone to these tryouts and watched these guys spar, so I know who's getting in that bout circle and fighting for us.
Ken Shamrock, it's coming up in just a couple of weeks. Again, get your tickets at ValorBK.com. That's ValorBK.com. It's true bare-knuckle boxing. I'm blown away by this. I'm excited to get on out there. So are they three-minute rounds?
Yeah, 3-minute match, but our title fight is 6 rounds. Okay. 6 3-minute rounds.
Wow. You've done it all. Is there, I can't think of anything combat sports-wise that you didn't do. Is there something that you did not do that you kind of wish you did?
Well, I'm on my way now. I want to be a great promoter. I want to be able to put on fights that fighters love and love to be a part of our organization. And I want to put on fights that fans love and that want to come to our fights. And we're in the process of doing that. And so October 27th at the UNF, man, you guys come on out and check out and see what we got, man. It's going to be a night of action.
Man, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Before we let you go, you're in phenomenal shape. How do you feel? I mean, you took a couple of punches in the day. Is it hard to get out of bed?
Yeah, when you first get up in the mornings, it'll crack in here and there. But, for me, I get up every single morning and I attack my day. And I enjoy doing that.
Man, I tell you what a career you've had. It's been absolutely a pleasure. And I'm really looking forward to this. So I learned from you tonight, Ken. I was under the impression it was going to be in a cage with ropes and or not ropes, but in a cage. I love this idea.
Yeah,
This
well,
is gonna
wait
be
till you
incredible.
see it, bro. I'm
Yeah.
seriously.
I'm going to be there.
When you go there,
Yeah.
not having ropes or cages and sitting there watching it is one of the best experiences you'll ever have, because every time you've gone to a fight or a combat, you've always had to try to look around cages or ropes. Well, here, you don't have to do that.
Man, it's going to be a blast. So once again, let me give you the information. ValorBK.com. It's coming up at the UNF Arena, where you've seen plenty of hoops games there. You know, it's a great facility. And that'll be on Friday night, October 27th at the UNF Arena. Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous man. He has founded this, and he is presenting it, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope this really does work out for you.
I really appreciate that. And thank you for having me on, and to everybody out there, man. Hey, October 27th, we'll see you there, UNF.
Ken Shamrock, ladies and gentlemen. What an event. I'll be pumping it up until the 27th, and we'll see you out there at UNF. All right, Jag fans, 641-1010. Let's get in on your thoughts over the weekend as well. Same deal on the text line, 641-1010. You want to comment on what you just heard out of Ken Shamrock? You can do that as well. Great to have you with us, with you tonight till 10 o'clock. I'm Rick Ballou. This is Into the Night.
It's the gateway to game day.
You ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
Get everything you need to know for your weekend on Pre-Game Friday.
It's the greatest happening in sport.
Brought to you by MyBookie and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Mia here, and my friends at Brackish Vodka have some exciting news. They've just introduced 2 incredible new flavors that are sure to elevate your experience. Get ready to meet espresso and elderflower. If you're looking for something a bit more floral with a hint of honey, like Saint Germain but with a vodka twist, then elderflower is your go-to choice. It's elegance in a bottle, a sip of sophistication. Drink like a local and drink Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 10th in the 1956 World Series, behind Yogi Berra's 2 home runs, New York Yankees beat Brooklyn Dodgers 9-0 in Game 7.
Are you ready for the ultimate happy hour experience? Look no further than Bellwether, downtown's undisputed champion of good times. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. Rally the team and head over to Bellwether. The vibe is full and the food is unbeatable. Free parking after 6 p on weekdays and all weekend. Bellwether Restaurant, where great food and the best happy hour in town come together for an epic win.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley have been helping clients all over Florida with their construction perm loans for 34 years. Construction perm loans are not easy to find because a lot of banks and credit unions don't understand them, and therefore they don't like to do them. Well, your problem is solved. Trustline Mortgage wants to help you build your dream home. Our construction perm loans are single close, so you save money by not having to close twice, like with other lenders. Some of our construction perm loans allow you to lock in your interest rate up front. And if interest rates go down, we'll give you the better rate. We offer up to 100% VA loans, up to 96.5% for FHA loans, and up to 95% for conventional loans. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. That's 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you build your dream home. or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing lender. MLS number 331480.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thank you to Ken Shamrock. I really hope that works out here. The UNF Arena's be a great place to watch someone fight, right? Or in this case, 14 fights. But that's coming up Friday, October 27th. ValorBK.com. Get your tickets. We love the fight game around here, JJ and I, and, whenever UFC comes in, or really anything comes in, but want to be a part of it. It's harder during football season, and obviously this is taking place during football season. High school Friday night football is huge here in Jacksonville, but I'm going to make my way over there to see this. I'm just really intrigued by how different it is going to be. And JJ, you and I have talked boxing forever. I fooled the people in Chicago into believing that I knew a little something about boxing, so they fly me into Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, and I do my shows out there with the late Burt Sugar and get to see some boxing, and then all of a sudden you have all this cage fighting. But this is the one that really fires me up. I want to see straight-up bare-knuckle fighting. No of your lower body involved, no taking guys down to the ground, just straight up trading.
And no clinching. Like, you can't even relax for a little bit against the ropes, against the cage to take some energy off. Like, that's going to be – I doubt most of these fights make it to 9 minutes. You said it's 3 3-minute rounds, but I would assume most of these get done pretty quickly. And if it does go the full distance, these guys' faces are paper mache, man. I mean, at the end of the Masvidal fight, I mean, these guys were torn to pieces. Some of them, I guess, they do have a little bit of tape on their hands, but it's not enough. It destroys these dudes. It's as tough as you can get when it comes to MMA or any sport in general.
I tell you who's going to get a workout here is the referee.
Hell yeah.
If there's no clinching, I mean, he's going to be involved with this. So check it out. It's all one word, Valor BK. That's VALORBK.com. And that's on Friday night, October 27th at the UNF Arena.
Jacksonville's become the hub of
I love it. It's a little niche.
Knuckle.
It's a little niche, and I love it. It's, fight fans go, but, others, you want to go to the Daytona 500 for the first time. Maybe you're not a golf fan. You want to go to the Players, whatever it may be. If you've never seen a live card, a fight card,
highly recommend it.
It's pretty spectacular. It is, and let me tell you, the Vegas stuff was great. The only problem during that era in Vegas, I saw Lennox Lewis fight once, and then I'd see others like one of the Klitschko's fight like like
Very
a Callie
boring.
Callie Meehan or something. It wasn't.
Yeah, the Klitschko's were infamous for their boring style.
Yeah, it seemed like at that particular time, boxing was going through a valley, but still in Vegas, they present it with the showgirls and everything else. The UFC does a wonderful job. Well, the Masvidal camp, whatever it was, 2 months ago, did a real nice job. So I got to believe Ken Shamrock, with everything he's been a part of. I mean, he's been with the UFC, where he's a Hall of Famer, the WWE, the WWF, TNA, Impact Wrestling, Pancrase. He's been overseas, Japan. And I was reading today about him growing up, and I didn't know if I kind of got the sense from our conversation that, with Ken, he's all about promoting this fight. And when you promote your card, talking about yourself, even if I ask, is not really what this interview is all about. He's trying to get people to go out and watch this. But, I mean, at age 10, he ran away. He was stabbed by another child. He ended up in the hospital. At 13, his stepfather kicked him out of their home. Each of their brothers went their separate ways. This man lived in stolen cars, often robbed people at knife point as a means to survive. And now, I got all this off of Wikipedia, and again, Wikipedia has shown us or told us over the years that just because it's there doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. But you talk about a tough upbringing and being raised on the streets. There's been millions and millions who've gone through this and ended up going one direction or another. Sure, there's been some who have been successful in combat sports, but no wonder that is why he elected to go that way.
You never see, on a fighter's Wikipedia page, born and raised by two great parents in a wonderful home. Went to school every day and had a 4.0 GPA. It's like, if you're in that life as a fighter, really as a professional athlete in general, but specifically this type of work, you have to be from a rough childhood. You have to be tough as nails, man. Like, no one's just deciding to do this in high school as a thing. It's
really rare.
For you to be good at it and to have the heart and the willpower to go through what you have to go through to be great. Yeah, most, if not all of these guys come from pretty terrible backgrounds.
Fought a lot of guys who were born, in San Diego and in the backyard. They had a putting green, but then all of a sudden just decided to go fight in the streets of downtown San Diego.
If you took the Wikipedia pages from the PGA Tour with the UFC roster right now, vastly different upbringings.
Let's see here. I didn't realize he had that extensive of a football career. All right. The Chargers offered him a tryout. He declined in order to pursue his career as a professional wrestler, where he had his debut in 1989 in North Carolina. That was the South Atlantic Pro Wrestling before he went over to the WWF, which, of course, is now the WWE. So there you go. And he's a Hall of Famer inside the cage. And some of the stuff he did there was insane. Some of his rivalries, if you will, and some of the bouts that he did have. He was an interesting guy, and he was good in the world of obviously the UFC is 100% legit. It's 100% real. But he could play the role. I remember he came in as a face, and then at one point he turned as a heel. I think he was in the rivalry back then with the Hart brothers, and I want to say he joined up. He was a tag teamer with the Boss Man. If memory serves me correct, I believe it was him, the late Boss Man. But anyway, as a tag team partner, he did a lot of good stuff. So,
dude, he was in the OG UFCs. He was in UFC 1 and 2.
Oh, I know.
Where there's no weight classes, where basically anything goes, where the Gracies are still wearing a gi in the cage. It was just like the Wild West of sports at that point.
Do you remember him fighting Tito Ortiz?
Super niche.
The fights with Tito Ortiz.
I think his last one was one of those.
The press conferences with Tito Ortiz, the decorated T-shirts he wore.
Yeah, they fought 3 times. So the last one was his last official fight.
I don't think
MMA.
Shamrock won any of them, did he? Did he go 0 for 3 or did he go 1 and 2?
He went 0 for 3.
Yeah. Still a Hall of Famer. No doubt about that. This guy took on, and here's another thing, he took on a lot of bigger guys. You pointed out they didn't have the weight categories that they have now. Everything is that way. All right, so I just went back to Wikipedia here. He retired in July of 2019. So
Jesus, that's not very long ago. He looked like he'd kick your ass, though, now.
Oh, my God.
No question.
You talk about a
Both
man
of
who's
our
put
asses,
together.
Let's be real.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's absolute. I saw our buddy Tommy McManus talking a little bit earlier today, and someone was like, Tommy, you could take him on. Tommy's like, nah, no thank you. I'm going to stay away from that. And that's the other part of it that I, if we had more time, I'd kind of like to ask that question is, you and I walk into a bar or something like that, unless there's a total jackass there, people are going to leave us alone. They're just going to look at us and be like, there's nothing worth it. But when you're Ken Shamrock and you walk into a place, there's always going to be, it's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like walking into prison.
Like someone's going to try you. Or
someone's going to make it a point to go up to someone like him and say, I'm a better man than you, where people aren't going to do that to you and I. I wish if we had more time, I wanted to ask him that if you ever just been like, if you ever popped into like Starbucks. No, that would never happen at Starbucks. Let me rephrase that.
But
Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
My
Dunkin'.
boys back in Boston and Dunkin' Donuts, yeah. Starbucks. There's no one's ever been hit in the face who goes to Starbucks. All right.
I think of it differently. I wonder what it's like to just walk wherever you are, know that you could beat the brakes off everyone there. Like that feeling as a man has to be.
I bet he doesn't have that
awesome.
feeling. I bet the
guys who
he's aware
that don't feel like that.
Yeah. But I because I've talked to a lot of people. Over the years I've talked to those people, and they're always wary. And you know what they're always wary of? The littler guy,
quiet guy,
the guy who's got more to prove. Not the 6'7", 250, put together. It's the guy that doesn't look like he's that way, but he's just, maybe I wasn't born crazy, but I became crazy.
Yeah, like whenever you get into some altercation, which I've been in 1,000, you always have to look at the ears, because you see the, what do you call it? The wrestlers and everything.
Cauliflower ears?
Oh, my God. Then huge red flag, don't mess with this guy. I don't care how much he weighs, how big he is.
Yeah, the cauliflower ear is a big giveaway.
Absolutely.
Did you get a good look at his nose?
No, I didn't.
How many times do you think that nose has been broken? Yeah. I'm a fan. I hope this works. I hope Jacksonville.
I thought he sounded great, by the way. Like, you sort of worried when you hear, 59-year-old former MMA fighter, because you're worried, is this interview going to be, he might be really punch drunk, like we see a lot of old football players, a lot of old fighters, but he was great. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. So I'll promote this, throughout. I hope you folks get an opportunity to go out there. It should be a whole heck of a lot of fun. ValorBK.com is where you get the tickets. UNF Arena coming up on Friday, October 27th. Okay, let's push things back. I guess we'll, officially begin everything with the 9 o'clock hour on the Jaguars. Want to mix in a little bit of college football coming up this hour as well. Keep you updated on baseball. My goodness, the Rangers are going to send home the Baltimore Orioles, who went 101-61. they're going to send them home in 3 games with the sweep. They're up 6-0 already. We've only played 2 innings right now in Arlington. The Rangers, wow, 1 in the first, 5 in the second. So, Texas was kind of like Tampa Bay. They got off to those ridiculous starts.
Yeah, they had a huge lead in the West. The Astros clawed their way back. That's what I was going to say. This is I get that they are a 100-win team, but I am not surprised that the Rangers are going to win this series. I'm surprised how they're doing it by just a sweep and pretty much handling them in all these games. But to me, the Orioles were like a year or 2 ahead of schedule. Like, all these guys in the Orioles are so young. They even have a couple more rookies on the roster they added late to the season. They're going to be back. The Rangers too, but the Rangers are more of a team that's built ready to win right now. They have those huge superstars. They have the guys they're paying hundreds of $millions to. And they're going to win this series without Scherzer, actually. He's not even on the ALDS roster.
There's a chance he may come back.
Yeah, I think he'll be back before the end of the ALCS.
And it's a good thing the Braves won, because you look at what's happened to the Dodgers now, getting clobbered by, well, last night was 4-2, but getting knocked off by the Snakes in consecutive games. And we talked about it off air. I mean, the come-from-behind victory for Atlanta and the incredible double play by Harris at the very end there. But, I mean, if you're Philadelphia, man, and I know I've always kind of presented them as like a Kyle Schwarber beer league style of Major League Baseball team. They left 10 runners on base in the first 4 innings.
They had the series. I mean, they're up 4-0. They basically held the Braves hitless through like 6 almost. The only thing that happened was like an error, and then they give up a run to make it 4-1. They're still in it, and then 2 long balls. The Braves basically were asleep at the plate for 2 games, basically 1 game, 1.5 games, and then that's what the home run can do, man. 2 2-run home runs, they take the lead, and then that play by Harris was just amazing. I never doubted that he would get to it, because I've been watching him do it for 2 years now. But the play, back in the infield by Austin Riley to grab the loose ball. I don't know what you call a ball that's going through the infield in baseball, but a loose ball, and then just a perfect strike. It looked like he threw it 1,000 miles an hour to first to double up. Bryce was just phenomenal. What a perfect guy to double up to end the game, too.
So Lance Lynn trying to starve off the sweep tomorrow night in Arizona, going up against the Snakes, and I guess the Braves haven't decided officially.
No, I think it'll be a bullpen game.
Who's going to pitch tomorrow
because
against
Charlie Morton
Nola.
is not on the roster in the NLDS either.
So what's wrong with him?
He had like something late in the season. I think it's his hand, or like it's not crazy serious, but it's, he couldn't pitch the last couple weeks of the year. Like at first everybody thought, oh, they're sitting him down because they already clinched and they don't need him the last week of the year and they're opening up a roster spot. But no, he actually can't pitch. And this is huge. Like as big as last night's win was, if the Braves lose the series, it doesn't matter.
Tonight is the opening night in the National Hockey League. I did ask Ken Shamrock off air if he's ever fought on skates.
A man from Georgia.
I'm going to fight Ken Shamrock. I want it on skates. I used to sit out all the time to McManus when we worked together. I said, Tommy Mac, we're going to go, and it's going to be on ice. And he's like, I've skated before. I'm from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I can skate. That's all about balance, fighting on ice. But
yeah, you got to get a good hold of the sweater with one hand.
Yeah, I mean, fighting nowadays is nothing like the way it used to be. That back in the day, again, they just traded and they went crazy. Now fighting is so risky in the NHL because they have the helmets on, and if you're pounding your fist on someone else's helmet that is built to prevent you from crashing to the ice or the boards or take a puck to the head, think about what it's going to do to your hand. So in hockey, believe it or not, professionally speaking, even in an era where gambling is as prevalent as it's always been, you do not have to formally announce what a hockey injury is. So you can have a broken hand, or let's say you break 2 fingers, and someone may think, he's got a lower body injury. He took a puck off the ankle or something along those lines. But I mean, just the accuracy involved of when it comes to shooting a hockey puck. Again, just look at the size of the goalie's equipment these days. That's the first thing I would change if I had any say in the National Hockey League. They got it right years ago when they finally got rid of the 2-line pass and lifted the red line, and it created more offense in the NHL. But the goaltending equipment, those pads are way too big as far as I'm concerned. But that's kind of lost in all this. Talk about a little bit in baseball, you foul it off, you do whatever to your fingers and your hands, and these guys at times, their fingers are all taped up and bumped and bruised and sprained, and they still find a way to go up there and have great at-bats. Well, that happens all the time in hockey. And, those gloves are very protective, but for the most part, it happens when you drop them and you're punching someone. If you know you're going to get punched, what do? You turn your neck left or right, so you're hitting these guys right on the ear flap or right in the side of the helmet, and they're breaking bones.
What do you know about this new kid, Bedard?
I don't. He's supposed to be absolutely, phenomenal.
Plays for the Blackhawks, for you who don't know.
He's a top
rookie,
pick.
Yeah.
He's only 18, but...
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, he is... I've yet to see him, and I say I don't because I haven't seen him at this level.
Is the hype as much or more than McDavid or Connor McDavid was?
Boy, if he has a career anything close to Connor
That's what I'm
McDavid,
saying.
man. I mean, let me tell you something.
But the hype, I mean, I know nothing about hockey, but I've been hearing about this kid for months.
Oh, yeah. He's, top pick and everything you just said. But if Connor, when you look at McDavid, bro, he's entering, and I'm leaving the defenseman out, so I'm leaving the great Bobby Orr out, but he's entering Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux type of company.
He's 26.
Okay? I've got to put Alex Ovechkin in there. I want to put Guy Lafleur in there. Jaromir Jagr in there. I guess to some extent maybe Phil Esposito in there. I'm talking about the greatest goal scorers of all time. Connor McDavid also will put the puck right on your tape. This guy's going to get 100 assists a year.
What's up with the name Connor? Jeez.
I don't know.
That's Bedard's name as well.
Yeah.
He's from Canada. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's a big name
out
there.
Maybe
Connor.
we'd have an American hockey star.
Yeah. So, I'm not ready for it because I divorced it. I got my brother over the weekend. Like, you're gonna get the package. You're gonna go. This divorce with the Bruins ain't gonna last. Let's come out this. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Could they have pushed the season for another week or two?
Nah.
The 10th.
They just want to get it going.
I see.
Yeah. But anyway, it's underway tonight. 3 games. Matter of fact, I think that Tampa game.
Yeah, Tampa won 5-3 tonight.
All right. Tampa a winner. So 3 games tonight, full slate. I believe Wednesday and Thursday. After that, everyone will have played in the National Hockey League. All right, we've done fighting. We've done hockey. We've done baseball. Coming up next, we'll take a look at some ladies' tennis, and then we're going to go to – no. Coming up next, let's get to football. I want to get into the latest on the Jags. I want to talk some college football as well. Florida State, I've had a lot of questions on Florida State the last couple of days. And, they're in a position now where there's no room for error. The conference isn't going to do them any favors because they don't play North Carolina. They don't play Louisville. They don't play these undefeated teams. Miami's loss actually hurts them, I guess. And I did find out about that tiebreaker. It's the records of their opponents. It's not the highest-ranked team. So, yes, there could be a situation where if Louisville North Carolina, and Florida State all goes undefeated, Florida State could be ranked as high as 1 in America, if not certainly 2, 3, or 4, and not play in the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship game. Can you imagine this? Matter of fact, let's discuss. That's on the other side. Good to have you with us. Let's get to some football in hour number 2.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Got a hole, and there he goes. Cross midfield, down the left sideline.
The Gators crawl in Columbia.
10, 5, goal line. Touchdown. Gators.
Florida, South Carolina. Kickoff at 3:30 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Ballou for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to shinatridc.com.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you can win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. Right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/1010XL and use code 1010XL, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. prizepicks.com/1010XL with code 1010XL for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carline for QC Kinetics. The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. You've got to go see QC Kinetics. You can call to set up a free consultation at Mandarin or Ponte Vedra locations at 904-274-5522. Again, 274-5522. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, shoulders, back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Look, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Again, give them a call. 904-274-5522. That's QC Kinetics.
At ABBQ, they are turning up the heat on game day with a spread that'll make your taste buds do a victory dance. Football and barbecue always play together. I'm talking mouthwatering wings, juicy burgers, and tantalizing appetizers that'll keep your hunger in check as you cheer for your team. Come for the food and football, and stay for the teal-colored Jell-O shots. Your destination for a mouth-watering barbecue and an unforgettable game day. ABBQ. Meet and drink with us.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 2nd.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, tonight 6 to 8. Actually, tonight would not be 6 to 8. Tonight till 10. Tomorrow night 6 to 8. Thursday night 6 to 8. Timeout. The sports bar on Beach. I don't know if I've ever been there to Timeout. Not because I wouldn't enjoy going there. It's just it's on the other side of the world from where I do live.
I've been a few times. Good spot to watch a game.
Okay.
Eat your bar fare. Enjoy drinks.
Mm-hmm. Miller Lite. I got the details today. I mean, let me share. You know, I'm not Ken Shamrock, but I will do my best to promote and do my best to shill.
Will you wear a sleeveless shirt in there and look as completely jacked as he did tonight?
Not a chance in the world. Not a chance in the world. No. No way. Dude, I don't think I've worn a tank top since I was like 25. All right? I mean, this
no suns out, guns out for you.
No.
That's not a thing.
And let's be honest about this, okay? 3/4 of the people who wear tank tops shouldn't wear tank tops, but I do got to tip the cap to the guy who just knows that he looks awful in a tank top, but wears it anyway.
Yeah, maybe if you're a coach for the Charlotte football team.
You know, you see them like walking into Publix, or you're getting gas, and they're going into the convenience store to get themselves a 24-pack of Miller Lite and a
just like,
pack
that
of
guy
smokes.
Knows he looks like
he's
crap.
giving up.
Yeah.
He's giving up. Yeah. And I mean, that's the best time.
Or how about the shirt that's like so short, and it's like, dude, your big ass belly is hanging out.
Yeah, that's a little.
Have some respect for the rest of us.
Yeah, that's. I guess it's good for the appetite, right? If you're like really, really hungry, just take a look at someone like that. Yeah, Timeout. Apparently, they have posters up promoting the event. My goodness, I mean, it's going to be packed. 6 to 8 on Thursday at Timeout. $3 pints of Miller Lite. $2.50 bottles of Miller Lite. And you get a bucket for $13.99. So that's going to be out there 6 to 8 on Thursday. And I'll have some swag. And I will have Miller Lite thank you tickets to the game this weekend between Indianapolis and Jacksonville. So that's going to be Thursday out at Timeout. We'll see you there. What the Jaguars are doing right now is certainly good in most areas. Travis Etienne's running like a beast. He leads the NFL right now in missed tackles with 27. And let me put my hand up right now and tell you, that is a surprise for me. I watched this guy play just about every game of his career. I swear I watched them all at Clemson. Well, not them all, but most of them. And certainly I've watched every game here in the NFL. He's run harder than he did a year ago. Maybe the Tank Bigsby draft pick affected him more than anyone else. He's also second in the NFL after contact with 308 yards, only behind McCaffrey. So, if he's able to do that and Jacksonville can say that much more of a balanced offense, that's really going to help them as they move forward. Really the only concern I have right now that I haven't discussed this year, I talked about it an awful lot last year, and that's Trevor Lawrence fumbles. All right? Had a couple over the weekend, and one was the strip sack, which I think you can fault Cam Robinson, but the other one, he tried to hang on to the ball a little bit too much, and it feels like we've credited Trevor Lawrence all season long. What has he had? 13 sacks in 5 games. Yeah, it's more than last year, but he's been forced out of the pocket, and you can go back to the game against Atlanta where he found Calvin Ridley in the end zone, had to throw off his back foot. And whenever I mention that, I think a lot of you think of the wide-open Christian Kirk, yet Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence unable to locate him and throw to him because he was being chased out of the pocket. But that was a problem. I want to say last year he had 12 fumbles and he lost 9. And that was the most in the NFL for a quarterback. And that is beginning to be somewhat of a concern as well. I mean, turning the ball over is will kill you. And Jacksonville in the last 2 years has used that as really something, more than that. It's really become a forte. I mean, to go from 9 takeaways to 27, and look at the last 2 weeks. Look at Darius Williams himself in those couple of takeaways. So, that's the one thing that I look at there, and I hope they are able to fix. The offensive line, it just feels like it's going to be a game-to-game situation all year long. I mean, we discredited Travis Etienne. As good as he's been, I think you have to credit the run blocking. All right? We're so easy to criticize when things go wrong. I think credit deserves to be given for what this football team is doing right now when it comes to running the football. The pass protection, as we know, has really been a problem. And on top of that, there's been mistakes. Cam Robinson allowing 2 sacks. Anton Harrison, 2 costly penalties, taking away 18 and 19-yard gains. Luke Fortner sailing a ball over Trevor Lawrence's head. Brandon Sheriff, for Pro Football Focus, tells us he's gone consecutive games without allowing a pressure, but he had a penalty. Did you see Prisco's tweet? I retweeted it where it said that there were no – I got it up on X right now or on Twitter right now. It was posted up there that, Brandon Sheriff had no pressures.
Yeah.
Did you see that one that Prisco put up there?
This is the touchdown pass to Zay. And not only does Sheriff get beat, it's one of the worst plays of the game, and then Trevor takes a pounding right before he releases the ball. So, yeah, that's what I've always said about PFF. Like, who's doing this? Who's the one charting these plays? Is it one guy?
I don't know. It's...
And how can we go
It's
back
controlled by our government. Okay?
Yes. Very inept.
It's controlled by Chris Collinsworth.
Can you go back and look at every play charted on PFF and see who that pressure was given to then? I'm not sure.
My guess is that there's plenty of employees, and all they do is watch film and study it. But, we credit them, and we don't credit them. We acknowledge them. We use them, whether you agree or disagree. I think, once again, I lost a lot of people last night when I said that according to Pro Football Focus, Kayvon Chason had a better game than Darius Williams. And when that is your end result, yeah, it is absolutely worthy for criticism.
That's credited, by the way, that pressure is credited to Fortner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are saying.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that, and the other one I've seen is that the whistle blew. There was a penalty on that play.
I thought this was the touchdown to Zay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking for it once again. It may have been, but this offensive line is I think there's hope. That's what Cam Robinson's going to get better. That was his first game back. Give him his sea legs. They won. If they lost, can you imagine? That's my point. Can you imagine what it would be like if they had lost that game? The criticism that would be, why do they move Walker Little inside? He got hurt. Robinson's not ready. He allowed 2 sacks. He got worked. In this game. And, Anton Harrison, we keep hearing he's getting better, but he made 2 huge penalties. And, you got to take it for what it's worth. Me O'Brien says that Walker Little is going to be out a few weeks. It's an MCL sprain. Depending on how you look at it, that could actually be a good thing. Because you know what worst case scenario is. He's gone. And he's hopefully ready by August of 2024. And also it's not the same knee that he hurt, years ago at Stanford. So I think you like where you're at with Ty Shatley as far as a guy that you can plug in. He's a warrior. Put him anywhere. Left guard, right guard, center. He's going to help you out. Robinson's going to get better, right? Shatley takes over now for a little bit of time. The grades on Luke Fortner on Pro Football Focus are just awful. There's no other way to say it. They're terrible. Sheriff and Harrison. That, to me, that's a work in progress. Don't start giving up on Anton Harrison now. The guy's played 5 games. Okay? He's played 5. And Buffalo was one of the better pass rush teams in the NFL. And granted, they were down. They were down, injury-wise. They were down a couple of corners. They were down certainly a couple of pass rushers. But I think the rest of what you have. Good against the run. Improved in their secondary. And, you got 4 pressures apiece last week with Trayvon and with Josh Allen. You're still not producing the sack statistics. And oh, by the way, complaining about officials, we can do it every game. But I think Football 101 reads like this. Fans and media will complain about the officials when the team you either love or you cover loses. Very rarely do you do it when you win. But it's totally bizarre to look at what happened in this game, but especially the Josh Allen on Josh Allen hit. That's a sack. And then there were a couple of, I thought, late hits that went against Trevor Lawrence that on the flip side was not called in this game. So, that's just my point on it. If you lose, then yeah. I mean, when you lose, who do you blame? You blame everyone. And you blame the 4, 5, 6 plays that stick out more than any. If they had lost, you'd be blaming Cam Robinson. You'd be blaming Trevor for the fumble. You'd be blaming Anton Harrison for taking away those 2 big gains. And, on the flip side of this, and I'm trying to think who, it was Epinesa. That's who it was. A.J. Epinesa. A clear late hit on Trevor Lawrence. And no flag at all during the game. So, but it's everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I saw it in Tallahassee over the weekend. They won. I thought Florida State was a victim of some really, really bad calls, particularly on some pass interference on Virginia Tech. Their interception by A.Z. Thomas. I think it was a late hit. I got to go back and watch the Seminole game. I typically watch it today. I actually went out and played some golf today for the first time in 2 months. I watched it apparently when we got home on one of the screens late on Saturday night / Sunday morning, along with the USC Arizona game. But I need to check that out. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow coming up. All right, let's take a break. Why don't we do that? Let's get to some of your stuff. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You got to feel good right now about the Jaguars. Tomorrow's going to be real interesting because we'll get official word on Walker Little from Doug Peterson. We'll get official word on Zay Jones from Doug Peterson. Again, a report out on Zay today that it's a knee and he's day-to-day. And I think that's okay. I think Jacksonville's okay this week if Zay Jones cannot play. I think they still knock off Indianapolis. The Walker Little injury is a blow. There's, you can't disguise that. That's an injury. I'm interested in these defensive players. Okay, DeJuan Smoot, I guess on social media somewhere said a big decision's coming up. Does that mean he's back? Devin Lloyd, we were told with the surgery a couple of weeks ago that he would miss both games in London. And here's something else. Does winning 2 as opposed to splitting or losing 2 change when it comes to hurrying a player back? Now, any coach worth anything will say, oh, no, there's no effect. The trainer's going to clear him. The trainer's going to I don't believe that. I'm not saying I don't believe Doug Peterson. I don't believe the Jaguars training staff. I'm saying in general, college and pro football, I think that matters. I think there are times, I remember talking about it with Brandon Sheriff on opening day. If the guy's really injured, do you want to risk it? Or maybe it was Kansas City in week 2. Do you want to risk it that early? If it's week 15, well, then hell yeah. Shoot him up and get him out there. In week 2, do you risk re-injuring it for the course of the long season? So when it comes to Devin Lloyd, and it comes to Devon Hamilton, and it comes to DeJuan Smoot, do either of them get an opportunity to play this Sunday? I don't know. We'll have a better feel tomorrow. Peterson speaking, and I'll also be in the Jaguars locker room tomorrow, get an opportunity to talk with the players after they have won their last 2. And, of course, they did that out in London. I hope you're going. Hope you're going to the game on Sunday because you get another month off. Okay? You're going from, what is it, Friday the 13th? That's Sunday the 15th, all the way until November 12th. After the game, they go to New Orleans, they go to Pittsburgh, then they have a bye, and then they host San Francisco. So you got about a month off if you're not already scheduled to be at that game on Sunday. All right, we got much more to do. Good to have you with us along with JJ. I'm Rick Ballou.
He is tough. He sets the tone. If the O-line is the backbone of the offense, then a back injury could be a backbreaker.
Oh, boy, this is starting to get ugly.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Find the middle of the fairway with your drives. Get the golf tips and talk to keep you straight.
That's a great tee shot.
On the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
The Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
Do you feel a ghastly presence in your septic tank this Halloween? A septic emergency is spookier than a haunted house. But fear not. Duck Duck Rooter is here to rescue you from the depths of septic despair.
I'm Vlad, the Valiant Septic Tech, ready to cast out the demons from your septic system. If your toilet's acting possessed or your pipes are stirring up a witch's brew, we got the magic wand to fix it all.
Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic tank pumping today.
Do you love sports? Do you also love wings? Enjoy the best wings in Jacksonville in Miramar, Mandarin, and Oakleaf at Players Grill. Watch your favorite teams and enjoy burgers, pizza, salads, and of course, wings. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
You sure taking a liking to that radio.
You can't listen all day, every day, but you can catch what you missed on demand.
Go on demand at 1010XL.com.
You have the power to listen when you like.
On demand.
Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet represents your business, your reputation, your pride. So Andy's Automotive provides after-hours and mobile service to keep your fleet in top shape. And this month, Andy's is offering new fleet accounts a 25% discount, up to $500 off your first repair. Experience the service difference with Andy's Automotive and save money with a new fleet account. Visit their team online at andysats.com.
Follow every Gators game on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Help Jacksonville breathe easier at the American Lung Association Lung Force 5K Run Walk along the St. Johns River at Haskell, Saturday, October 14th. Find out more about this fun event at lungforce.org/Jacksonville.
To play golf and pickleball while helping local charities at the Mormons Miracle Foundation Tournaments, Auction, and VIP Party October 20th, call 783-1878.
To learn more about the Jericho School Golf Tournament and silent auction at Blue Sky Golf Club October 21st, visit thejerichoschool.org.
Make a difference on the golf course. Play in one of the best tournaments and help make Jacksonville a safer place to live and raise our families. The First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament is October 23rd at Amelia River Club. Call 398-5883.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you the proof. Check with our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
We take pride in doing quality work at a fair price. And you can finance your new roof for as low as $139 per month. J&M Roofing, under the umbrella. Call 904-337-0509.
License number CCC 1331951.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I had mentioned a moment ago that, a little concerned about the Trevor fumbles. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he was spectacular on Sunday. He made some throws that only a few guys in the league can make, and the out pattern with Calvin Ridley is unstoppable. It is. We kind of wish they would do a little bit more of it, and sooner or later I think some teams will try to gamble on that, but you don't know exactly when he's going to cut that route, right? I mean, it's not like every route is the exact same down in distance, and they have this relationship, and it's clear that we've talked about Lawrence in the pass rush. He's getting rid of that ball oftentimes before Ridley begins his break. So they know what they're running, but that's been real promising. And we say whatever we say about, or I say whatever I want to say when it comes to Pro Football Focus. They came out with this as well yesterday. Trevor Lawrence on 3rd and 4th down against the Bills, 9 of 10, 114 yards and a touch, had a passer rating of 147.5. 9 of 10. And they also drew, a penalty, an automatic first. I can't remember if it was a holding or if it was a pass interference. So that's That's phenomenal stuff right there for Trevor Lawrence. Let me switch to college here for just a couple of seconds. Boy, what a weekend. I mean, this is what it's all about. There are huge games on tap coming up this weekend in college football. Florida State, yes, it was a little bit of a surprise. I got to say I don't like when I see or hear any of this, but you did have Winston Wright announced that he was leaving the program. And a kid out of West Virginia got in that car accident, missed all of last year. And they were raving about him in camp. And he wasn't in for any snaps on Saturday. He had 4 receptions for like 40 yards, and he's gone. And much like what I just talked about with the Jaguars when it comes to the Trevor Lawrence fumbles, my biggest concern right now for Florida State in this offense is that no one is involved, not named Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. And I just don't know if a championship-caliber team can win with 3 stars making plays, And finally, Trey Benson got his. It was his best game since Florida. He gave you 200 yards. And you look at Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. Even Jaheim Bell, I read a few places that someone was saying that apparently he might have been in the doghouse. I know it came out somewhere that he was dinged. As a matter of fact, Mike Norvell actually mentioned that during his press conference. I believe that was, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. But he only got 7 reps. They're not getting others involved. And here's where the problem lies. It's not that others are not getting an opportunity. It's Jordan Travis is throwing to 3 people. When Bell's out there, he's the 3rd. If not, it's Morlock or it's Toafili. He's not going to wide receivers not named Johnny Wilson or Keon Coleman. Look at the wide receiver rotation. Wilson had 29 snaps. Remember, he left. Apparently, he had some sort of head injury. It hasn't been formally announced, although he took it to social media and said he'd be fine. Said he would be back. I was reading the practice report today. I didn't see anything about Johnny Wilson. Let me go back and double-check that. But anyway, here's the wide receiver snap count. 48 for Coleman. Hakeem Williams, the true freshman, 11. Destin Hill, 23, in the slot. Taking primarily those balls away from Winston Wright. He did catch that 30-yard reception. And listen, I think Destin's going to be a great guy, but he got it and gave you the stop and stare like he's Peter Warrick. Bro, you have 2 career receptions. I mean, I know that that's today, and I get it. You got, but you have 2 career receptions. It took you 3 years to get in the school. You were supposed to be part of the 2020 recruiting class. I mean, earn your bones, right? I mean, just don't act like you're having your number retired. It's your 2nd career reception. For crying out loud. All right, anyway, Darian Williamson, 7. Douglas returned and had 18. I thought he should have had a couple of balls. One was clearly a pass interference, and it was not called. And the best of the news is probably Kentron Portier got 19 snaps in after being AWOL the first 4 weeks, just not getting out there. So that is encouraging. I wonder where Deuce Spawn is, kind of like you are. Mike Norvell, again, is going to be very secretive as far as the injury. And for what it's worth, Pro Football Focus on Florida State did have the 2 drops for Ja'Kai Douglas. So, that's where they are. And I do, I feel good about this Florida State team. But it's almost like in some circles that if I'm not doing a cannonball into the deep end of the zone, deep end of the swimming pool on Florida State, well, you're just this way, you're just that way.
Why haven't you got your Mike Norvell tattoo yet?
Yeah, I'm like, listen, okay? They're up 22-0. 22-0. And then quarter number 2 comes around, and they allow Vatech to put up 144 yards, and Florida State puts up 1 yard. So what happens? Why do they fall asleep? And it's 22-10. And as I told you, we kind of had fun last night about saying you think Florida State could afford to put some radios in the lavatories and in the bathrooms and some things on there so you know what the game is at. So I'm talking with my brother. We grab him some more beers, walk back up, and all of a sudden, he's like, how do you feel about it? I'm like, well, I want a 3-and-out stop, and then I'll feel better. Well, by the time we get up there, you can hear a pin drop. My dad's like, you just missed it. Vatech took it all the way back. I sit down, it's 22-17. So they allow that's what I'm trying to figure out, okay? They were so good in the second half against LSU. They were dominant in the first half against Boston College. They scored 31 points in their first 6 possessions against BC. They didn't score again. They won at 31-29. They let BC score 19 unanswered. BC, without that last penalty, really probably wins the game. They scored 0 points in their last 6 possessions against Boston College. You get 17 offensive points only against Clemson. Now, that's a good team, and it's a tough place, and you got to credit Kalen DeLoach in the strip sack touchdown for 7. That counts. But you only got 17 in regulation, okay? Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm not upwardly complaining, but I'm not like this is a bona fide playoff team. Make your reservations for, I think it's Houston. No, this team has got a lot of warts. What's great about this team is they are a better coach team, and there is a lot of senior leadership on this team, but they have got to fix some things. And to me, the biggest issue right now with this Florida State football team, brother, you have got to get these other wide receivers involved. You just can't go through this season relying on just Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, because Wilson went down. What if one of these guys goes down? Both have come out this year, or actually I should say that against BC, Coleman he took himself out. He had, a couple of drops. He had the ridiculous selfish holding on 4th down. He almost let a punt hit him. It did hit him and ricocheted out of bounds. And I watched him practice. And not only that, but the people I know over there have told me about Destin Hill and Wright before he left, and Portier and Williamson and Deuce Spawn and these 2 true freshmen like Hakeem Williams. Man, you got to get him involved. And that's the thing. You go up 22-0 against Vatech, you're thinking, good. This is the game where you're going to get these other guys involved. And then all of a sudden, not only look at the receptions, look at the attempts by Jordan Travis. He's not even throwing the football to these guys. And it's fine if you're going to live week to week, game to game, and get by with your NFL players. The guys I'm talking about are NFL players. Trey Benson, Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, although I do wonder what his 40 is going to be. And maybe he's better off coming back one more year. I don't know. He can get paid in Tallahassee. That's going to be interesting to see. It's one thing to have Caleb Williams come out and say, well, I'm going to be the top pick. If one of these teams doesn't draft me, I'm going to go elsewhere. It's another if you're, a guy that we think is going to be real good, but others may think, I don't know. Can he run? Does he have the hands? Does he have the toughness to be an NFL wide receiver? Are you better off staying in school for all the right reasons? Number one, getting better, but perhaps more importantly for you, I got to believe Johnny Wilson I got to believe he's making what, 500 grand, 750 grand, $1 million? I don't know what it is. I haven't been that interested in the NIL to really pry into what all of that is about. But I got to believe it's something that's pretty nice. Let's say he falls in the NFL draft and he doesn't make a team and he becomes a practice squad guy, and in 3 years he's out of the league. And not only him, I'm talking about guys all across college football. I think the automatic entrance into the NFL and, all right, it's time to finally get the payday, I think in some avenues, some folks will rethink that. Anyway, Florida State playing some pretty good ball. You know, they're one of the 14 teams in college football right now who is undefeated, but they absolutely can get better. And, yes, that is correct. Last night I was asked about it, went back and checked today. The Atlantic Coast Conference, which frankly does nothing right, including this. They're not even taking the 2 highest-ranked teams. They're going to take the opponent's one-loss record this year in conference for FSU. It's crazy how North Carolina, Louisville, and Florida State, those 3 teams, do not face one another. Before I head to this break, let me go over this again. I mentioned it yesterday, but I do think it's important. You look at Louisville, and they're still one of the, you know, in some circles, they're still one of the great unknowns. Even after their, even after their victory that they got against Notre Dame, why in the heck did I pull up Louisville basketball? I mean, get to me in March, all right? Not on 10-10
To be
day.
fair, when you Google Louisville, most people are probably looking
But
for
I'm on
basketball.
ESPN here. I don't know how that happened. Georgia Tech, Murray State, Indiana, BC, at NC State, and Notre Dame. All right, so their first 5 wins, they just got by Tech 39-34. I think that was in Atlanta maybe. And they went into NC State and won. And they did that in an ugly affair, 13-10. Then, of course, they had their best win of the year, winning at Notre Dame. All right, they go to Pitt, coming off a bye. Some talk that could be it for Djokovic. He's no longer the quarterback. We'll see. Then it's Duke, Va-Tech, Virginia at home, at Miami, Kentucky. Very, very winnable games there. I mean, right now you got a quarterback situation at Pitt. You got a quarterback situation health-wise at Duke with Riley Leonard. And that'll come the week after the Florida State game if Riley Leonard does play against FSU. So would I bet Louisville to go undefeated? No. I mean, I'm going to pick, unless something crazy happens, I think Miami knocks off Louisville. But that's also the week after Florida State plays Miami. And when you take on rivals like that, I think it honestly does matter the next week. Let me take a quick look at North Carolina before we head to our final break. I know that their schedule is a little bit more formidable with Clemson in there. All right, they one of the great games of the weekend. They will host Miami at 7:30 on Saturday night. That's on ABC, and that's going to be a lot of fun. After that, Lafayette, Virginia. After that, you go to Tech. Then you host Campbell. Then you host Duke. You wrap up the year by going to Clemson and then going to North Carolina State. And North Carolina State is another school that has gone through the whole quarterback issues. They had the transfer, Brennan Armstrong, who came over from Virginia. He has since been benched for MJ Morris. So who knows what's going to happen there. So, yeah, I mean, winnable. But you got to get – if Louisville goes to Miami and wins, and if North Carolina goes into Clemson and wins, people are going to go crazy about this. But apparently the way it works out, at least right now mathematically speaking, North Carolina and Louisville will be the 2 teams who would play for the Atlantic Coast Conference. Florida State could be ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the nation and not even play in the game. Believe it or not. All right, we got much more to do. Take you up until 10 o'clock again tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Thursday night, 6 to 8. Miller Lite Party, we will be out at Time Out Sports Bar on Beach Boulevard.
We knew it was going to be a dogfight. It was going to be a four-quarter game.
Looks, fires to the back of the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. Zay Jones.
Things are beginning to kind of gel for them.
Took all three phases.
What an interception inside the 10-yard line.
Crunch time. The offense had to go down and have a drive.
He bursts out of there. Travis Etienne. Gonna put a nail in this thing.
We just have to keep moving in the right direction. I feel like we're doing it as a team.
Statement game. The next one could be even bigger. We're 5 in. We've got plenty of football ahead of us.
The next one is a divisional opponent.
The Indianapolis Colts, Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Are you ready for the ultimate happy hour experience? Look no further than Bellwether, downtown's undisputed champion of good times. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7 p, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 a.m. Rally the team and head over to Bellwether. The vibe is full and the food is unbeatable. Free parking after 6 p on weekdays and all weekend. Bellwether Restaurant, where great food and the best happy hour in town come together for an epic win.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools, because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277, or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
as soon as possible
at 641-1010.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. Did you know it's been 19 years since the Benyon family started the company? They want me to tell you it's been a pleasure serving the great people of Jacksonville. To celebrate, just say, happy birthday, Zero Res, and they'll give you $50 off your cleaning. That's right, $50 off carpet, tile and grout, upholstery, area rugs, or air duct cleaning. Their birthday gift to you. Some minimums may apply, so give them a call. Happy birthday, Zero Res, spelled forwards or backwards, the right way to clean.
A horrific car accident left Paula with major injuries and surgery after surgery.
I got to the point where I really couldn't walk. I had to resign from work. I was really just laying in bed. It was terrible. I wouldn't go back under the knife.
She missed working and traveling, but all that was about to change. QC Kinetics used natural biologics to treat Paula. No foreign substances. They provided regenerative treatments that help subside the pain and restore her quality of life.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was feeling more movement and doing stuff. And then I start crying. I'm like, I can't believe it.
For Paula, this moment was extremely emotional.
I couldn't do nothing. And now I'm working, and I was on my feet for 7.5 hours, and I feel good. I got my life back because of QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics now for your consultation.
904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jeweler for 45 years with GIA-certified diamonds and gemstones, fashion jewelry in gold, and the latest styles. Also know that we have a full-service jewelry repair and restoration department, and our jewelers can get most repairs done in a couple of days. If you need a ring-sized or stone replaced or chain repaired, we can do it. Monahan's also buys gold and diamonds, so bring those in and we'll pay you top dollar. And remember, we can finish most jewelry repairs in a day or two. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, today's takeaways. Brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
All right, today's a big day. Not only is it 1010 on 1010, but thanks to the good folks at Facebook, where they share with us memories. What memories do we like better? Do we like Elvis or do we like Barbra Streisand? I'm going to go with Elvis. But anyway, I noticed that 6 years to the day is when I purchased my beautiful Key GMC Sierra truck. And I just went over 82,000 miles on it. So I haven't been driving it a ton. When we make road trips, usually we take the Buick Enclave. Same place right there from Key. Huge fan. So that's my takeaway today. I just want to put it all on the best dealership right here in town. Regardless of what it is, the incentives are phenomenal right now at Key. Visit them right across the street from Tinseltown, Southside, and Gates.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL talking with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
Yeah, I had Ken Shamrock in here tonight, and I was going to ask him about taking a chair shot from The Rock. But I did not.
Yeah, Ken Shamrock's the man. He and I judged Guns N' Hoses together back in April, and I sat right next to him, and he had a lot of great stories, that's for sure.
Man, he is put together.
Yeah.
So he's promoting now. He's out. He's officially announced his retirement. But, man, you look at combat sports, man, over in Japan, fighting in the WWF, the WWE, 5 or 6 other, individual or regional, if you will, wrestling companies. He's a Hall of Famer in the UFC. He's been in kickboxing. He's done it all.
Yeah, the crazy thing, what was it, like UFC, like 297 right now or whatever it is? I think he was in UFC 1.
He was.
Like, he was literally in UFC 1 when they started it 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was. So, yeah, like I said, you sit next to him for a couple of hours like I did. You got a lot of interesting stories, that's for sure.
And we learned it from him tonight. I wasn't aware of this because Jorge Masvidal was in here a couple of months ago, and I went to the arena, and it was just like the UFC, but they took off the gloves. It was bare knuckle. This, no ring, no cage.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't use your lower body. You can't kick. Can't use a knee. You can't clutch, and you can't take the guy to the ground. They are going to stand and trade punches. This is what they're going to do.
It's not the world I live in. Like, I see those videos. There's like a slapping thing that goes on now.
Oh, we've had him on too.
Right.
Yeah.
I see that, and then now you got the bare knuckle. I guess I'm too much of a lover and not a fighter.
Oh, man.
I wouldn't last 30 seconds in that situation.
What are you getting paid? Oh, it's our boy.
Oh.
We haven't heard from him in a little bit.
Austin?
We need Austin Turpin. He's the what's his nickname again? The
Big Daddy
Gigolo.
Terp.
Yeah, Big Daddy Turp. Yeah.
Gigolo.
He is. He's some sort. No, he's a pimp. Didn't he call himself the pimp?
I don't know. I thought it was Big Daddy or Pimp Daddy, maybe.
I think he's Pimp Daddy.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
he's a legend.
Good stuff there. What's coming up tonight?
Yeah, our late night show. We kind of get into all three phases tonight: high school, college, and pro. We'll do the high school spotlight in the 11 o'clock hour. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 to talk a little Jaguars. And I had a pretty cool moment earlier tonight. I found, Rick, that getting older, you tend to reminisce a little bit more. I took my son to his first movie ever in a movie theater. He's 4 years old. Went to see Paw Patrol. Very
How did he
exciting.
like Exorcist? Was it good?
Exactly. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We went to see Paw Patrol, but I took him to the theater that I worked at 22 years ago, and it was his first movie theater ever. And that was kind of cool.
This is where Daddy picked up trash.
That's exactly right. This is where Daddy got paid $6 an hour to sweep popcorn up.
Yeah. Which one is that now?
The one on Phillips Highway,
okay,
the
yeah.
Regal. Yeah.
I like it.
So his first movie experience ever was where I worked at 2 decades ago. I just thought that was kind of a cool moment tonight.
That's cool, but what would have been even cooler is to think of all the money you would have saved by taking him to The Exorcist, and then he would have said, I never want to go to another movie ever again.
Look, I'm out of touch with movies, man. You can get all kinds of stuff, chicken sandwiches and tenders and hot dogs. They got a full bar there now. I mean, it is insane, some of the stuff you can get at movie theaters.
All right, man. Have a lot of fun tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
There you go, folks. Locker room tomorrow. Looking forward to it. They've been out of town, as you know, so we'll have a full report. It's going to be a big day as well. A big day as well for Doug Peterson with the injuries. All right, Zay Jones a knee, Walker Little a knee. Me O'Brien telling us Walker Little's out for a few weeks with the MCL. Zay day-to-day. But what about the other three coming back? Devon Hamilton, certainly Smoot, as well as Devin Lloyd. So all of that will be coming up Wednesday, 6 to 8. Thank you to Ken Shamrock. Thank you to JJ LaSalva. I am Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow night at 6.
If you were given a chance to pick this week's games, could you pick them?
Of course.
It's 1010X